Grand Rising. It's Sunday morning and it's a beautiful day outside in the sun, in the garden with the sun and the shadow playing. Came out this morning to check on the garden, had a few slugs on the broccoli and the cauliflower. I was wondering what was eating it. Couldn't find any caterpillars or slugs. And the weird thing is I came across this really strange nut. I don't know if you can see it, if it'll get clear enough, but it's this spiral, and it's actually a seed. And I think it was in the pea straw. Now I've also got peas coming up in the pea straw I put down, which I think is funny. So I'm going to find out what they are, because one's sprouted. I've put it back in the ground so it can grow. I have no idea what it is, but I'll find out. And I had ceremony last night, and it was beautiful. It was profound. It was just what I needed and just what my client needed. And she shared a message that she got through her journey last night, and I thought it was so profound, and I wanted to share it, so I'll just read it to you. And it's to do with trauma. So one aspect, trauma, they don't stay present in the next generation to cause more trauma, but as a remembrance of the life and lessons lived. So it's not like we have to relive the trauma and be traumatized by the generational trauma. We don't have to take it on board, but it serves as a purpose to remember the life that was lived and the lessons that maybe weren't learnt, so that we can learn from what happened in the past to heal and break that cycle. It was very profound for her, and when she shared that, one aspect, they don't stay present in the next generation to cause more trauma, but as a remembrance of the life and lesson lived. That's that intergenerational trauma. I just wanted to share that. I thought that was quite profound. And also to wish you all a beautiful day, a beautiful week. It's been a very intense week with the full moon in Pisces. That was a doozy. But it was like the lead up was more intense than the actual day of the full moon. So there may have been other things going on, like I think there was 5 or 6 planets that were retrograde, or Venus, I think maybe, or one of them started to station to go direct. So there was changes, and there were certainly changes in my world where planning to do one thing and it was binned or canned like literally just days later. So I just thought that was interesting. But what helped me process and get through it really quickly was what's meant for me will find me. What's not meant for me will either pass me by or leave. And it helped me get clearer on processing what I want and how I work and what I do. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a powerful thing to get clear on, because then it's especially if it's aligned with your values, then it's almost like your responsibility to then put in boundaries or put in steps or direction for you to live by your values and how you work and what you want to do with the work that you do. And there's no judgment in it. We're all different. We all process differently, we all interface differently, we all react and respond differently. It's such a personal thing. So it's getting clear on you, and when something comes up and triggers you, how do you process it? Do you hang on to the actual experience, reliving it, going over it? Or do you, okay, this is what happened, so what's the solution? What's my role? And that's the only responsibility you have, is your own role in things. Because you can't change another person. We can't get into another person's head and flick switches. I wish we could. And I wish sometimes someone could get in my head and flick switches on and off. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. So I just found that it's been a very intense, interesting week, but it's helped me to get clearer on things and own who I am and be okay with that. be okay with this is how I am in the world, because this is the way I'm made up. This is the way life experiences has molded me, and then it's down to me whether I want to change that or not, or do I think that's it's purposeful for me, it serves me in a healthy, positive way, not in a negative, unhealthy way. We don't want to cling on to those. Not everything needs to turn out to be a trauma or its experience. It's just learning the skills to deal with it. A lot of us haven't been taught, and it's nobody's fault, how to repair or how to remedy relationships that are either breaking down or broken down. And sometimes you don't want to repair and remedy, and that's fair as well. There are just some people who's like, I'll love you from a distance. And there are some people that you just go, no, come back into my life, or come back into my fold, or just come into the peripheral. How do you repair and remedy that then? How do we rise above, move along, leave behind that which no longer serves or that which harms, I suppose? And then realizing the generational stuff that influences how I am my mother's daughter, and she is her mother's daughter, and so on and so forth. And you can see the patterning and the conditioning that gets imprinted on you from a very early age, and then life experiences how they mold you as well. But realizing it's, if you've got awareness, that's the biggest thing, because with awareness about anything, that can help you understand your attitude about it, or how to adopt a better attitude, how to then approach anything, trauma, life, project, feelings, relationships. Awareness, attitude, approach always helps. So having this new awareness around generational trauma was like another little light bulb moment going off. It's like, well, of course it's present. Not to cause more trauma, and not to cause us to relive it because it was somebody else's experience and hey, let's relive it now. It's, if it's live in this generation, if it's live in you, it's for you to remember the teachings behind it, the life that was lived and the lessons that didn't get learned. So that's where the change happens, is we learn the lessons this life. And that's how we break the cycle. And how you learn those lessons from that life lived in the past generations, well, it's relative to what the trauma is. It's relative to the pattern that got handed down. It's relative to you. It's relative to your family. And it can be a lot of things. It could be just how you get ostracized. It could be how someone suicided. It could be how someone had cancer. It could be how, someone just lived. It can certainly influence, but I don't think it directs. I think we still have that innate ability with our thinking mind, our intuitive mind, and our heart brain and our gut brain to do things differently. They're ours. That's my essence. That's who I am. And that's what I need to use to look at the past stuff to heal. I hope that makes sense. So I just thought that was a really interesting way of looking at intergenerational trauma, that it's not here to cause more trauma or to play out again, but rather to be learnt or remembered, because there's stories there, there's lessons there, there's love there. So the birds are out. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to do some gardening, and some poodling and some pottering today. So sending you all so much love, and yeah, have a beautiful Sunday. Aho, amen, so mote it be.